a real back to Black sisterhood. I'm so glad to be back behind the camera, you guys. The last month has been very busy. A lot of things that was on my bingo card in 2026, I just couldn't imagine to be happening. All good things, of course, thank God. But just to do obviously we gotta do a little catch up. I feel like posting once a month, like a formal podcast once a month, may or may not be enough. I feel like so much transpires in a month, and having a podcast makes you really realize a lot can happen in just a week in itself. So to catch you guys up, you guys know February is Black History Month. February is also Valentine's Day. It's my stepdad's birthday. There's just a lot that happens in February, so I do want to recognize that. Happy Valentine's Day if you celebrated, or if you're single, or if you're outside dating, whatever the case may be. I hope you took time for yourself and poured into yourself and loved on yourself, but also loved on your significant other. For Black History Month, I didn't really do anything. I feel like I don't really celebrate, there's not one particular way I celebrate Black History Month. I think in my everyday life, I always kind of try to exonerate Black power and pride and how I show up in spaces as a Black woman. I feel like that's just an everyday thing. I don't think we need a month to celebrate it. Is it highlighted? Yes, but there's not it's a consistent thing. I am, however, disappointed. I think this is the first Black History Month ever since that man in the White House decided to cut D&I initiatives. I have not seen a fraction of the amount of Black History Month merch and stuff like that in a lot of different stores this year. I don't know if y'all peeped that, but it's opened my eyes to a lot of different things, and I'm highly disappointed. I feel like a lot of other things was prioritized before Black History Month and Lunar New Year. So happy Lunar New Year also if you celebrate. It's just a reminder to, shop Black, support Black businesses, support small businesses, small brands, local farmers markets, Black-owned farmers markets, the list goes on. The fight goes on as well. So as you guys know, I always start out with hot takes. I feel like the first hot takes segment I did, it was kind of long-winded. I want this to be a conversation for the chat. So the first hot take is that these kids nowadays is not really kids. I've been around a lot of youth lately, and they look a lot more older and just come off a lot more grown than what they really are. And I blame the parents. Because the parents are the generation that wanted to be older but had a lot of restrictions because their parents was more traditional. Nowadays with social media, with technology and everything like that, it's really easy to be grown and on your own by the time you're 16. Yeah, it gives that. It gives a lot of these 12-year-olds wanting to be 16, 16-year-olds wanting to be 21. Slow down, pump the brakes. If it was on, I say this all the time, I wish I would have slowed down. I wish I would have stayed in my parents' house longer. I wish I would have really took advantage of what it means to not have to pay rent as soon as you graduate from college, y'all. Take advantage of that time, because is especially in this economy right now, the housing market, this is the most expensive housing market we've ever been in. But we all know who's to blame. So, second thing, people need to be more audacious. I was having a conversation with my close friends, and I was like, we need to start shaming people the way that my aunties and my uncles used to shame us when we didn't look presentable, or if we said something crazy, I get plucked in your mouth. We need to start bringing that back. I feel like this even though we want to be grown, we're also a lot more sensitive, and that goes for even some of the older people too. They need to be called out as well. When you see your friend moving wonky, when you see your friend looking crazy, if you see somebody wearing white at a wedding, I feel like they should be called out. Is that not valid? The next thing, there's a difference between rebranding and recentering. I think a lot of times on social media, I see a lot of, and this is, I can say this because I went through this. I'm big on branding. I'm a brand, if you will. I'm big on changing the logo behind something, big on changing the font of something, big on changing the aesthetic of a page or whatever the case may be. But I think there's a difference between rebranding and recentering. Rebranding is all the pish posh and all the extra, the cover page, the paint behind the house. But if your morals, if what you're centering yourself on isn't aligned with like what you want to represent and your core values, the rebrand really don't mean nothing, honestly. Like anybody could slap a new logo on a business and still have a crappy business. A lot of times I see smaller like local Columbus businesses change the name of a restaurant or change the name of a lounge, and they still be having the same effed up owners or the same effed up staff or the same effed up service. Like nothing changes but what the name and the title. Baby, you gotta make something shake. You can't just tell me, oh, I went from being named this to being named that. I'm going on for too long, but it's easy to rebrand yourself and be something or someone that you're not. It takes a lot more time and energy and spiritual work to recenter yourself and get back to who you are or who you want to be. And in the end, I feel like that's going to speak more for itself than just you slapping a different logo on your brand. The last thing is using grammar and how you talk to somebody to manipulate them. I don't know. I've been in conversations in my past where people have tried to use big words or talk really fast to try and manipulate me and make me think that I'm crazy. I have short-term memory. I have selective memory, I think, but a lot of it is short-term memory. So let's just say if we're in a conversation and you're using big words that you know that I don't know, and you're talking over and over and over, like you're listing all these things and whatever, and then I can only remember but so much, but I'm also the type of person, I like to hit on every single thing that you're telling me, especially if it's a personal conversation. I'm not going to remember what you said, the first couple points. I feel like people that know that people have short-term memory take full advantage of that and try to use that to their advantage to emotionally manipulate somebody. I don't know, child. Emotional manipulation is very, very much a thing. Not just in the personal realm, not just in the, family, friends, relationships. It also comes in the professional setting as well. Clock it. Okay, so I have to do an outfit of the day because I feel like I kind of did like PTSO, put that stuff on today. My shirt is from Target. This shirt and tie combo is Target down. Like y'all will always see the same button down shirt with this same tie together. This hoodie is from Fashion Nova. My skirt is also from Fashion Nova. And my boots are from Akira, Shop Akira. They're dirty and like beat up, but they're cute. And then I did put this like drawstring around my waist. I was gonna wear a belt, but I thought that looked too weird. So I just put this. This is a part of a hoodie. What is that brand called? I forget the brand. Whatever, but it's really cute. It adds like a little glam because I got my watch that matches too. So yeah, I wanted to come and talk about balancing or what it means to balance a 9-to-5 and have different side hustles. I've touched on this a couple times in a few previous podcasts, but I don't think I ever really went in depth about what it really means to have a 9-to-5 job and have a whole bunch of different other accolades going on at the same time. Those of you who know me, I wear multiple different hats. I don't wear nearly as many hats as I used to, but if you know, you know. So I work full time in corporate retail. I'm a social media manager. I also help with event production with that company. I also create my own content. And I have this podcast, which also comes with this is a whole nother branch just within itself, from like networking, planning events, actually doing a podcast, being an editor, it's just a lot. So some things that I've learned, especially now with it just being me, like being the face of this podcast, I think I've learned more doing this on my own as somebody that balances both lifestyles than I ever ever had, because it's me making the wheels turn. It's not, oh, I can lean on this person, that person. No, it's just you. This is like having a business, having a brand. No, it's not a formal business, but at the end of the day, it is a platform that I created, and I have to upkeep it at the same time. And I think some of the main things that I feel like, as far as skills and mindset, what I've always had when it comes to balancing the two is boundaries and time management. And that's really what it boils down to. I think for somebody like me, my time management isn't the best. I'm not even gonna lie. I'll be late sometimes, but just as far as organizing, setting aside time every day for like an hour or 2 hours to plan, like I'm a big planner. No, I do not write a planner, but I have a notebook, a journal of like all these different ideas and everything. So I'm making sure I'm setting aside time on a daily basis or every other day to make sure that I'm pouring into this platform. And it's the same for like my social media management gig as well. That is more hands-on because I'm literally taking content from other people, posting it, curating content as well, coming up with the captions, engaging with y'all on social media, commenting on other people's posts, making sure that, the brand image is up to par, making sure that we're scheduling people to come and record video for different events. And posting on the stories every day and then promoting so it's a lot that truly goes into just that in itself. I feel like every day I'm devoting a few hours on a daily basis just into that. So imagine having a 9 to 5, having a social media management gig, also having a podcast, but also trying to, post your own content. And I think I kind of turned around what my version of content creation was, because now it's the content that I make is based off of my life. It's lifestyle. It's what I'm doing. Whenever I can pick up the camera and record, I'm recording because I like sharing. I like creating that community. I like putting people on to different restaurants or a new shop or something like that. Like I just went on a cruise for the very first time and I had a ball. And I used to be scared of being on a cruise. So I'm posting my experiences so that people that, might also be afraid of going on a cruise, they see that it's fine. Stuff happens all the time. There's always going to be a mishap, but that's why you keep God first and you stay prayed up. Amen. Along with that, I think, and it took me a while to know what setting boundaries was. It took me a while to know what setting boundaries was, and it took me even longer to actually learn how to have boundaries and what that means as well. I feel like setting boundaries and managing your time go hand in hand, because for me, I was devoting way too many hours into my 9 to 5, staying up late, just to get things done. And it's a 40-hour a week thing, and I'm passionate about my job, so I'm okay with devoting the extra time here and there. But when it gets to a point when you're mentally drained from that job and you can no longer pour into those other aspects of your life, that's when you need to reevaluate. Going back to recentering, like, okay, what's your why here? We're not saving lives. I'm not a surgeon. I'm not in the medical field. The wheel's gonna keep turning whether this email gets sent out tonight or tomorrow morning. And that's just how I have to look at it. And my leaders have also allowed me to look at it that way, because y'all, I was losing sleep. I was staying up until, I don't know, like I would end work at like 8 o'clock or I would end work around 5 o'clock and then start working again at 8 o'clock because I had some like stuff to take care of, whatever. I would take my little break for a few hours, come back to it, then end up at the computer until 12 a.m. And I feel like that came from, not having to message people during the day and having like quiet, heads down time. Like it just got to be being too much. And I really had to be like, okay, I can't keep doing this to myself. I was drained. That's when I was having sleep paralysis. That's when I was stressed out and breaking out. My skin, it was just a hot mess. So I think setting that boundary of, telling yourself you're not a surgeon and that you can roll over your work for the next day, I think that also helped me to be able to balance this what's the word? This type of lifestyle. I think saying no to people also helped me. A lot of extracurricular activities that I was also pouring my time into, it wasn't really helping me. And I talked about this in the first episode of season 4 of like the people that I was around and saying yes to all the time was not pouring back into me the way that I needed, the way that resonated with me to grow as a woman, as a human being. So once I realized that, I was saying no to a lot more things. Like, oh, do you want to go to happy hour? Oh, do you want to go? No, I got stuff to do. Like, I really I don't want to say locked in. I don't think I'm locked in. I'm just a lot more choosy with my time and who I'm around and who I'm pouring into. I feel like it all just goes back to recentering. Honestly, it's funny how that like connects, but recentering who you want to be, what you want to stand for. And what I stand for is creating community, but on my own clock. I'm creating community on my own clock. I'm not, I'm not passionate about it, yes, but I'm not going the extra 10,000 miles to exhaust myself to where I can't even show up to advocate for a community, if that makes sense. I want to make sure on a day-to-day basis in 24 hours, Brianna is pouring into her 9 to 5. Brianna is pouring into her personal brand. Brianna is pouring into her body. Brianna is pouring into her mental. Brianna is pouring into her spiritual. If I'm not doing that on an everyday basis, I failed. And if for whatever reason, things happen, things come up, and I have to like substitute something because of a family thing or whatever, like I'm doing that. But I also keep in mind for working out, for example, it'd be times where I can only work out 3 times a week instead of 5 because I know my week is going to be crazy. But in those 3 times a week that I'm working out, I'm devoting 2 hours instead of 1 hour. So you really just got to know like what you want, what you're passionate about, why you're doing it, and where you want to go with said side gigs. I feel like my social media management gig has opened a lot of different doors for me and has expanded my network to the capacity where now I'm like in the event space, I'm in the ambassadorship space, I'm having conversations and I'm at these tables where people are wanting my opinion, wanting my presence. And I think that speaks volumes to go from somebody that was just managing a social media account. Like, your girl has way, way more. I feel like a lot of people saw a lot of potential in me. And I was able to take that, and my skill set was able to show up and run with it. And yeah. I feel like I said a lot. Speaking of which, I do want to, I don't know if I mentioned this in the last podcast, but I do want to start doing like monthly link ups again. I know March is coming up. It's about to be Women's Month. I want to do a series of events and link up with the girlies and, not just women, but I wanted to, actually, yes, for women, by women. So every week will be like a different event, something around wellness, something around faith, something fun. The first thing next Saturday, well, it'll be, by the time y'all see this, it'll be this Saturday, February 28th, More Life, All Love is having their Soulful Symphony, a tribute to her light. I feel like that is the best. It's so on point. And I don't know if this is on purpose or not, but it literally kicks off Women's Month. And I think that is so awesome. If you are somebody that likes live music, if you like the candlelight concerts that be on tour, I just went to the Drake one. I had a ball. It was so good. We were singing all the songs. But yeah, it'll be like that. So make sure I'm gonna put the link in Black Women Link Up's bio. It'll be in my personal bio. It'll be in the description. Make sure y'all check it out. And if you come, I'll see you there. Not the little promo moment. But yeah, dog, I feel like I've been talking. It's crazy, like, just having your own podcast now. And only having my own opinion is like, okay, you said what you had to say. Is that it? Oh my God. And I feel like I can share that because, again, I'm very open, transparent. I try to be my authentic self. I try not to edit a lot of stuff out. But it's really like you sit here and it's like once you got through the points that you wanted to hit on, it's like, yeah, that's really it. I don't have no feedback. Nobody disagrees. Okay. Nah, but also I'm looking forward to the collaborations that I'm doing. I'm gonna be having more people around, guests. I think I don't want to give it away. I'm not gonna give it away. But the person that I plan to collab with first and have as a guest on the podcast, she is doing her big one. She's doing her thing. She's active in a city. She's well versed around community and content creation and all the things. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. Yeah. All in all, if you are somebody that works a 9 to 5 and you're looking into getting a side gig, make sure you're passionate about said side gig. That's also the thing too. Like that's why like I used to work in a bar space, and that's just not something that I was passionate about. So once I was being, questioned, or my intelligence was being tested or something like that, and I feel like I just wasn't aligned no more, I said, peace out, Girl Scout. I don't need this. It was draining my energy too much. Like I wasn't passionate about it. And that's all it was to me was a little side gig and a little extra way to make money, and that was it. I feel like having a podcast and being in the social media space and the event space, yes, there are side gigs, but there's also passion and drive behind it too, because it does, like I said, open up a lot of doors for a lot of different people, including myself. So yeah, thanks for coming to my TED Talk. I hope you guys enjoyed this dialogue of mine. I feel like a lot of these topics and things are in real time. They're like having to do with what I currently got going on. So I have a lot of different opinions about stuff. And I feel like I'm gonna just keep it that way. I think a lot of the time beforehand, we were coming up with topics based off of things that was going on out on the outside world and just things that we wanted to talk about. But I feel like it hits different when you're actually going through it in real time, So yeah. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you follow Black Woman Link Up on all social media. Well, make sure you follow Black Woman Link Up on Instagram and TikTok. Black Woman Link Up 2K is in the link. I'm Bree, and this is another episode of Black Woman Link Up.